Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And I just wanted to do this lesson, basically news and prophecy, going into one of the things that were discussed, all right, at the World Economic Forum. All right, with the likes of this guy here, Mr. Schwab himself. All right, the true villain. Listen to this speech if you get time and see if you can pick out, particular things. But they're moving in on their NWO. That's why things are getting tighter. All right, the CEO of YouTube happened to be here as well, and later on, Lord willing, we'll get into her words. All right, but this particular one of the issues they discussed, as of course you have this global warming, fiasco that you constantly hear about. You can go back to the Malthusian theory, which basically there's too many people on the planet Earth, and there's not enough resources to sustain them. Which one of the solutions to their problem, all right, which the Earth is not overpopulated, okay, is just being ran in a very wicked way. All right, we're not even using the human beings that are populated here on the Earth use a very small percentage of the Earth. This Earth is huge. Okay, so the notion that it's overpopulated is just garbage. But they throw things out that out there, to pretty much confuse people and to push forward these agendas to justify, basically enslaving your ass and tracking everything you do. Now, one of the solutions to this issue is the carbon footprint tracking, all right, which pretty much right now is through phones and things like that. They'll track your usage, all right, and your carbon footprint in the earth, what you eat, how much you're able to eat, how much you're able to travel, driving, flying, all right, will all be restricted and limited based upon your social credit score. Things like that are coming down the pipe. All right, and we know, according to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, what John the Revelator saw, okay, as a means to complete a lot of this, and it deals with buying and selling, which is why you see a lot of these nations going cashless. All right, at the same time all of this is happening, you have these nations, the UK, Finland, Netherlands, Norway, China, Sweden, are all moving toward central bank digital currency, CBDCs. All right, it's being talked about here in America and many other countries as well, are all moving towards this for a particular purpose. All right, you even have SWIFT is experimenting with decentralized technologies to allow central bank digital currencies. All of this is happening at the same time because, as the scriptures say, the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, and he knows he has but a short time. All right, so in this article, critics slam personal carbon footprint trackers discussed at World Economic Forum. And this is going to be the point of contention. As a lot of these, draconian measures come down, you're going to have a lot of people bucking up, and it's going to lead to, rebellion. All right. And you're going to see the main rebellion is going to come from other Edomites. All right. So let's read this article. It says a tech executive at the WEF in Davos, Switzerland. All right. discussed new technology being developed that tracks an individual's carbon footprint. Okay. And that's crazy, man. Okay. It says we're developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. All right. So if you've eaten a certain amount, all right, in that day, you'll know to stop. If you've traveled or drove, a particular mileage, you'll know to stop, because you'll have a limit on your carbon footprint in the earth. And that's where, that farm to fork talk, all of this, the green, all of these various different things these people are doing to bring a solution to these issues they're creating. All right. It says, what does that mean? Evans asks rhetorically. It says, where are they traveling, how they are traveling, what they're eating, what they're consuming on the platform. All right. He answered. That was the answer. That's what it means. They're going to, be able to track where you're going, how you're getting there, what you're eating. Okay. From the soil to the fork, everything will be tracked to your belly. Everything will be tracked. Driving, all right, which is, you see gas prices going up, all right, because they want to push this whole, electric car ordeal, all right. They want everything on a grid, trackable, traced, and under their control. It says Evans dubbed the technology an individual carbon footprint tracker and told attendees at the WEF to stay tuned, as the technology is not fully operational yet, but is expected to be soon. Comments generated a flurry of criticism online about the potential privacy implications. Well, you're not going to have any privacy. All right. And the things that are getting ready to happen on the left hand on the planet Earth will justify you not having any privacy. Okay. Right now, you see a big push, at gun control. All right. So you have things happening that are going to justify that. You have this whole online speech needing to be, regulated. All right. So they're going to make sure things happen that justify the unrighteous decree. All right. It says, have I got this right? They are going to track how I travel, where I travel, what I eat. Are you serious? This will be so they will be able to limit our travel, where we travel, and tell us what we can eat. How are we letting this happen? One person complained on Twitter. All right. And we're going to listen to this guy say this. This is at the WEF, which, if you look at this particular line going through this, as a brother pointed out, this is basically 666. You can clearly see that. All right. This is the man of sin. Okay. The biblical Edomites, along with the people who are joined unto them, planning their future in this world. All right. And this is not going to be the same. All right. This guy here, he said, we are the leaders of the new world. Okay. And you can clearly see the 666, which John the Revelator told us that would be a number tied to him. All right. Which that number has a meaning. I believe on my Odyssey page, I loaded up the video me and the Bay Area brothers did a while ago going into that. So if you want to check that out, you can. It's on the Odyssey page. All right. So let's listen to this guy.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's, where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
So you heard it yourself. All right. And we know eventually how all of these things are going to be implemented. But you see people, getting mad. This is a guy who left a tweet. Sorry, Mr. Morgan, your vacation has been canceled because you have used your yearly allotment of carbon. Please return home and keep your energy use to under 2 hours per day for the next 6 weeks. Could you imagine that? Well, that's the kind of world that will be, all right, in this so-called new, all right, world. That's what's coming. That's the type of power they want. Okay? And you have people who are being duped into fighting, all right, for this. All right. And for this to happen, you won't have a constitution. You won't have rights. Okay. And I was checking out this article here. All right. Barbara Marx Hubbard, godmother of this. You can see that. All right. And synthetic spirituality, which is artificial wisdom, artificial intelligence, artificer. Okay, so all of these people are witches and warlocks on the left-hand side, but this was from the WEF in 2016, where all of these witches and warlocks met. And pretty much the video was titled "The 8 Predictions for the World in 2030, all right, which infamously forecasted a technocratic NWO in which, all right, when you say this, they take down your videos sometimes as well. So you read that, all right. Basically, you ain't gonna have shit and smile about it. All right. It says it doesn't take a stretch of the imagination to ponder, all right, how the WEF oligarchs plan to roll out, all right, sustainable development policies which will ration consumer goods in a global sharing economy, all right, that employs transient gig workers who will be rendered into propertyless serfs under a techno-communitarian rendition of neo-feudalism. But how will they, all right, sway the virtual peasants, all right, to be happy with their permanent state of digitally indentured servitude? So this article goes into that. And one of the 8 predictions, all right, was, you can see here, there will be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. All right. And all of these people, you know, you see the smiles like they're so innocent, but they're occultists, they're Satanists. All right. And ultimately, this is their new religion, as this guy talks about the Fourth Industrial Revolution. You can look that up.
Now the Fourth Industrial Revolution, 4IR. Fourth Industrial Revolution is building on the third, the digital revolution that has been occurring since the middle of the last century. It is characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. There are 3 reasons why today's transformations represent not merely a prolongation of the third industrial revolution, but rather the arrival of a fourth and distinct one: velocity, scope, and systems impact. The speed of current breakthroughs has no historical precedent. When compared with previous industrial revolutions, the fourth is evolving at an exponential rather than a linear pace. Moreover, it is disrupting almost every industry in every country. And the breadth and depth of these changes herald the transformation of entire systems of production, management, and governance. The Fourth Industrial Revolution, 4IR, characterized by the fusion of the digital, biological, and physical worlds, as well as the growing utilization of new technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, robotics, 3D printing, the Internet of Things, and advanced wireless technologies, among others, has ushered in a new era of economic disruption with uncertain socio-economic consequences for Africa. However, Africa has been left behind during the past industrial revolutions. The Fourth Industrial Revolution, finally, will change not only what we do but also who we are. It will affect our identity and all the issues associated with it: our sense of privacy, our notions of ownership, our consumption patterns, the time we devote to work and leisure, and how we develop our careers, cultivate our skills, meet people, and nurture relationships. It is already changing our health and leading to a quantified self, and sooner than we think it may lead to human augmentation. The list is endless because it is bound only by our imagination.
In which human beings will change. Okay, so the NWO is deeper than just saying the NWO. They actually have a plan for it, and they discussed a lot of these things at that WEF, and this was from 2016. But look whose name is tied to funding her, this New Age guru. Okay, the Rockefellers. Their name always seemed to come up. All right, in funding some BS. All right. But you can read this article. I'm not going to go too deep into it because, there's a lot in here. But it's off of Blacklisted News. And here we are. Okay, so the people are already criticizing these plans. And as the scriptures say, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, as we know, they're using particular terminologies and, all right, lies on the left hand. Or as the scriptures say, his right hand is the right hand of falsehood. All of the issues that they're presenting are issues, all right, that they're creating, all right, or forging, all right, to justify bringing in the order they want. All right, 2 Corinthians 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and we know he's going to use craft to bring forth these particular policies that are going to justify everything he wants, which we know what it ends in, according to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. John the Revelator saw everything we see happening. All right, and let's see here. I have this video here as well. Okay, this is off a call for an uprising. Let's listen to his take on it. And he's covering pretty much every aspect of this thing. He said he's doing it, all right, so that the watchers don't have to sit through, hours of this meeting they had here. But hey, the Lord has these, people working for us too. All right, bringing out particular things that are being said. Okay, and these devils are coming forth with this plan, man. All right, so let's listen to a little bit of this video and then we'll close it out. I didn't want to make this too long, but we've been telling you all about the carbon footprint tracking. All right, now as this article says, real quick, all right, like this tweet here said, eventually, all right, at first it's going to be voluntary, then it's going to be a condition of particular services, as if you have an illusion of choice, and then eventually it'll become mandatory. All right, and fully integrated and monitored by the government. Okay, these are particular tweets, but here it says, in March, a Google-backed startup company launched a free version of its carbon footprint tracker technology for businesses. All right. And this will also, for businesses, so-called, help them figure out who's, not doing work. All right. Everything will be tracked. All right. Slackers will be, rooted out. It'll be looked at as a way to enhance and to better, and for the people, this whole, global warming or whatever, they're going to be scared into believing this is the best necessary solution. Amongst other things, it says the carbon calculator is designed to provide small to medium-sized businesses with a baseline from which they can determine certain actions to take, all right, according to CNBC. All right, we can look that up. It says, currently there are Android and iPhone applications available to consumers that help track an individual's carbon footprint. All right. In 2020, This particular individual spent several months investigating these apps. While initially thinking they would be a great idea, he ultimately came to the conclusion the idea wasn't effective for various reasons. All right, but this is one of the things that's being talked about by your world leaders. Okay. And I wonder how all of these leaders got to this damn meeting. I wonder, did they use electric planes and cars? No, they got their asses on the airplane and drove. Okay. Anyway, let's listen to this guy here.
These morons laugh and they're like, yeah, why would Bill want to track where we're going and what we're doing? Well, it gets even more crazy than that, because not only do they want to track where you're going, this guy's talking about this is the head of the Alibaba group. He's talking about your individual carbon footprint tracker, which will monitor what you buy, what you eat, and how you travel, in addition to many other things. And of course, we all know that this was coming, or knew this was coming, and know that it's actually here. And of course, with the social credit score and other things, this will be pushed heavily to track people's behavior. And of course, if you aren't obliging by their full communist control, of course, you'll be doxxed. You won't be able to make purchases. You won't be able to travel based on your behavior, and your behavior just has to do with conforming.
And all of these latest incidents are going to be used as a means to justify. All right, we got to know who has what, who's doing what people's plans are. You know, the whole Minority Report situation is coming, where they'll be able to jail you based upon what you might do, you know, pre-thought, you know, crimes. And this is the world that we're entering into, all right? And good thing Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to stop these devils, man. All right, because they want all control.
But listen to this clown, J. Michael Evans, the Alibaba Group president, flat out telling you about the individual carbon footprint.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's, where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on. We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's, where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
So, these are the same people who blast this crap over and over and over in the mainstream media about conspiracy theorists talking about Billy Yates and all these other clowns trying to track us, and then them going, why would we want to do that? Well, apparently he wants to track what we eat. Apparently, we all know that they want to track everything. That's part of the push you've heard in the last decade or so about data, and how data controls and rules everything. So here are all the leaders of the world, leaders of business, Susan Wojcicki, head of YouTube, head of PepsiCo, you name it. All these heads of corporations, all these heads of government are all sitting there saying they want these types of things for us, like individual carbon footprint trackers. And we're supposed to be okay with this? We're supposed to be okay with giving up our privacy and giving up our freedoms to a bunch of sick psychopaths who worship Satan, who want total control over our thoughts? I don't think so, boys. I don't think so. How people sit and see the World Economic Forum and don't think that this group needs to be disbanded. This is like all the rich and powerful people in the world meeting, influencers, you name it, talking about how they literally want to live in bed with you, stare at you, follow you, smell your dung in the morning, watch you shower, and literally be everywhere at all times, because they're afraid. And the whole reason they want to do it is because they're afraid that people are going to out them and take their power away when they realize what they're doing. That's why they're hell-bent on doing this now. because more and more people are starting to get restless about what's happening in the world, and more people are starting to look around and go, yeah, I don't see some of this stuff they're saying going on. I don't see overflowed hospitals.
Yeah, and to think people are starting to see things ain't adding up. And you notice how he has his hands on the technology that they're forming. He put his hands in that, and we know what that can be, that small thing that they want to put, all right, in your ass.
I don't see people falling on the floor at the store because they're so sick. I don't see racism in my town. But I do see all these rich people telling us about climate change, then flying to these places on private jets and massive SUVs, and telling us this and telling us that's going on, and telling us it's our fault. And then I see them trying to get carbon footprint trackers and other things where they go, well, it's not in place yet. Oh, well, it's not in place yet, but the technology is clearly there. And that is part of this Agenda 2030 plan. So them even talking about it, I mean, it's like, it's coming. I mean, it's going to be in place, because all this stuff you see that's going on in the world about people's behavior, especially here in America, if they don't agree with you, now you're racist. If they don't agree with you, you're a bigot. If they don't agree, this is what they're convincing people of. It's going to be a system based on your behavior. No different than being a good student at school and getting A's for learning all of the propaganda and indoctrination better than the other kids. You get rewarded, and then you get to go to another school, a better school, and learn even more propaganda. In this system, which is about full control, you won't even be able to eat without being a participant in the system. One that's fully monitoring you. Why these people are there, how we allow the World Economic Forum to have their own military over there, paramilitary operating. And people go, well, what can we do about this? Well, for starters, people listen to my channel who are in the military. People in the military need to know what's up, because their defense is the military.
And if you are in the military, you're fighting for the beast. All right, you jakes that's in the military, you're going to be used to fight against the second coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, you're definitely going to be put out there, and you're going to lose. The scriptures say him that helped, all of y'all are going to be taken down. All right, but this is it. We're seeing it formed. You can watch the rest of this video on this channel. It's going down. They're coming, forth with their plans. This is what John the Revelator saw at the very end of the beast system being implemented and issued. You can read that in the highlighted areas. It's going down, all right? And repenting and drawing closer to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the only option. We don't have a plan B. That's it, all right? And Lord willing, we were foretold to get victory over these things, all right? Because there is a written victory over everything this devil is doing, all right? You have Revelation 13 where they're going to try it. You have Revelation 14 where the prophets are speaking against it. And then you have Revelation 15 where there's going to be a victory over the beast, his image, his mark, and everything else he's coming with. So, Lord willing, we're a part of that. I just wanted to bring that out. Things are moving along, and we're very close. Shalom.